Hey guys, today we'll be making an adorable poofy gold Christmas deco mesh wreath. What you will need, I have a large wreath ring, it's 18 inches, it was purchased at Dollar Tree, Chanel stems, gold and white deco mesh, 21-inch long gold deco mesh, and then I have gold and white ribbon. Also scissors. You will also need the bowdabra bow maker. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is place my stems on my wreath ring. I'm going to use a full Chanel stem and I'm going to twist it around the outer two rings a couple of times. And my next stem is going to go around the inner two rings. And then I'm going to go back to the outer two rings, twist it a couple of times, and then the inner two. So I'm going to alternate outer two, inner two, outer two, inner two. You can use half of a Chanel stem if you choose to do so, but for this specific style, I use a full Chanel stem because I'm twisting it around two rings instead of one. I have several methods that I use, but since this wreath form only has 3 rings, that's why I'm using this method. If you're using the smaller 14-inch wreath ring, then I will link videos down below on how I place the stems on the 14-inch wreath ring that has 4 rings in place. Alright, so we have all of our stems in place. I'm going to roll my deco mesh to a nice point and place it in the first outer Chanel stem and twist it a couple of times. Then I'm going to make a poof, and I'm not going to measure the poofs, I'm just going to estimate. Make a nice little poof and go to the next outer Chanel stem. So we're not going to go inner, outer, inner, outer. We're going to go all the way around the outer ring, so just connecting one outer stem to the next outer stem, all the way around the ring. Once I connect all the outer stems, then I'll go back and connect the inner stems. So we're just making large poofs all the way around, connecting each outer stem. You can make the poofs as large or as small as you'd like. It's completely up to you. The larger the poofs, the poofier your wreath will be. And you can definitely double your deco mesh if you choose to do that as well, whichever you prefer. Alright, let's continue placing our poofs all the way around the outer ring. Alright, so I've come back to my starting point. I'm going to unravel, place my mesh, and twist it back in place. And then I'm just going to cut away the excess mesh and start over on the inner ring. You do have the option of just continuing on the inner ring, but I feel like it's going to be easier just to start over with this specific wreath. So I made a nice little point, twist my deco mesh in place, and then continue with the same steps. I'm going to make a nice poof, place my mesh in the next Chanel stem, and twist it a couple of times. Repeat the steps on the inner ring just like I did on the outer ring, all the way around the wreath. Alright, so I've come back to my starting point, but I still have a little bit of mesh left over. So what I'm going to do is go back over the outer ring, just to make it even poofier. So I'm just going to make poofs, and you can either place them directly on top of the poofs you already have, or you can place them kind of in between. It's completely up to you. I'm doing this step just because I have extra mesh left over, and I'm going to make my wreath even poofier. But you can definitely just cut the mesh off and end it here if you choose to do so. Alright, so my wreath is nice and poofy. It looks so cute and precious. Now we're going to add our white and gold 6-inch mesh. Rolling them at a nice diagonal, crisscrossing one on top of the other. Scrunch it together. And I'm going to place it in each chenille stem. And I decided to go with a bundle in every single chenille stem for this specific wreath. You can definitely go with every other chenille stem. You can add more than 2 pieces. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and get the bundles placed in each section and show you what it's looking like. Alright, so it's looking so cute and precious. Again, you can add even more mesh if you choose to do so, but I think this looks so cute already. Now we're going to add our finishing touch, which is going to be an adorable bow. So I'm going to take my bow wire, place it in the center of the large bowdabra bow maker, and I'm going to start with my white ribbon. And I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to estimate this entire bow. So I'm going to unravel some of my ribbon and scrunch it in the center, fold in half, bring the front and the back up and place it down. And then cut away the mesh. I'm going to repeat this step again because these are going to serve as my tails. So unravel the ribbon one more time, scrunch in the center and place it down. And then cut it away. Then I'm going to take my gold ribbon, again scrunch it in the center and place it. And since the gold has a right and a wrong side, I want to make sure the right side is facing up. Take my wand and scrunch everything together. And those are my tails. Now I'm going to add the loops for my bow. Start with the white ribbon again, scrunch the end, place it down, make a loop, scrunch it again, make another loop. I'm going to go with 4 loops. You can go with more if you choose to do so, or less. It's completely up to you. But I'm just going to make a loop and scrunch, make a loop and scrunch to make 4 loops. And once I get to the end, I'm actually just going to loop it and scrunch it right in the center, because that's all of the ribbon that I have. And repeat the same steps with my gold ribbon. Start with the wrong side facing up, place it down, make a loop, but since the gold has a right and a wrong side, I will have to twist it every time I place it down. And it's kind of stiff as well, so you'll have to work with it. So twist and place it down to make 2 loops, and repeat this step 2 more times for a total of 4 loops. Again, this is just what I chose to do. You can definitely make a larger bow, smaller bow, more loops, fewer loops, whatever you decide. Just have fun with it and make it your own. And once you're all done, just scrunch it all together, adjust it and maneuver it as much as you need to. And I actually decided to add one more piece of my gold ribbon to add another tail, and I'm just going to place that right on top. You could wait until you remove the bow and place it at the back, whichever way you prefer, but I wanted to make sure it was visible. So I'm just placing it right on top. Scrunch it all together, just like that. Now I'm going to take my bow wire, the 2 open ends inside of the loop, hold my bow in place and give it a nice tug. Then remove it from the bowdabra. And then I'm going to tie it in a knot a couple of times just to make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm not going to cut away the excess bow wire because I want to use it to help attach it to my wreath. If you prefer, you can cut off the wire and use a chenille stem. It's completely up to you. But wherever you decide to add it to your wreath, you're just going to push all the mesh aside, take your bow wire, loop it around your wreath ring, and tie it in a bow. I prefer to tie it in a bow as opposed to a knot because with the bow you can easily untie it and place it somewhere else. If you want to place it at the top, bottom, left, right, whatever you prefer, you can easily untie the bow and move it around, but the knot will be a little more difficult. But again, it's completely up to you. Once you have your bow in place, you are all done. It looks so cute, precious, simple, and easy to do. You can ribbon cut the ends, you can leave it squared off, whatever you prefer. Just have fun with it and make it your own. Add in any additional embellishments, ornaments, ribbon, bows. Just have fun with it and make it your own. So cute.